Jason Mackey with us. Shelton said they were going to win on the margins this year. We've had calls. We've even said it. Fundamentals were lacking. They would give away outs. They'd give teams extra outs. In your opinion, why was that the case? You were down at spring training. Why is it that was the emphasis put on this team? That's not something that should be out of the question for a major league team, even one with a small payroll, that they at least play the game in what looks like the right way, and they didn't too often under Shelton. Jason, why?
Yeah, I think there's a couple factors at play, Andrew. And these do all add up to what we're talking about, not winning on the margins. Like, one, you're signing players that nobody else wants, basically. You know, they're only coming to Pittsburgh because that's their only option. And a lot of times those guys are going to be lacking in some areas, and a lot of times that's been baseball sense. I also think this is under Cherington's purview. Well, I guess the other thing is, too, where their development system has not been good enough. I know I gave them a chance. Others gave them a chance to blow it up and try to develop players better. They haven't done it. A lot of the guys who have struggled have been young players who should know better, and they're not being taught any differently. They also haven't been held accountable enough. That's something with Derek Shelton. I wish he'd be more of a jerk. I wish he'd be in guys' faces a little bit more, and he's kind of been like ho-hum the nice guy the way he was in 2021 and 22. Well, I don't know. I think he felt like that was his job, like brought here to sort of keep things together, and he never really evolved from that to sort of a taskmaster to say, like, look, you have to play winning baseball. This is unacceptable. I don't need to, like, keep everybody happy. Maybe you did in those first few years where you didn't have any talent, but in 23, 24, and especially 25, like, that's unacceptable. You need to go to the bench. If you can't make fundamental plays, there need to be consequences, and Shelton never did that.
How about his feel for the bullpen, Jason? I thought that was brutal.
Yeah.
And the question that comes up all the time with that is how much of that is him and how much of that is the front office during a game?
Too much. He said I had Matt Capps on the post-game show the other night. I forget what night this was. This is where he went Majinski to Barucki to Sugar. And I asked Capps about that move, and he said that was pre-planned. That was scripted all the way. And so, I mean, that is front office stuff, and that was the wrong move. And so in that instance, blame the front office, although Shelton should override it. I can't parse out like a percent, Andrew, but I think it is the front office is certainly involved in making these decisions, and they shouldn't be. The manager should have the last say and should have a feel for the game, and Derek did not have that. We saw that in the final 10 games, or the 10-game losing streak, at the end of last year, where he was turning to guys that it just made no sense. Like, he had this thing about him where he was, like, blindly wanting Colin Holderman and David Bednar to be good. And I don't understand that. So, I mean,
that carried into this year, too, and cost him games.
Too much. I agree with you. The front office has had too much input, but Shelton has not had enough feel with that either. He's been very bad in that area.
Jason, I know it's not going to be Cherington. Are there any other people that you expect could lose their jobs who are, like, very tight with Shelton? Is he one of at least multiple moves, or do you think this is where it starts and ends with the Pirates as far as any kind of shakeup right now?
Chris, I will preface this by saying, having covered Nutting in 2019, whenever they went Hurdle and then Coonelly and then Huntington in a weird succession, I have no clue what the heck Bob's going to do. I don't think Shelton will be the only one, though, to not dance around the question. Like, he has had such a profound impact on who's hired, like from, who's handling clubhouse stuff or travel, or like his fingerprints are all over this stuff. So I don't think those people are immediately going to lose their jobs, but I think there's going to be a big time reevaluation of this. I can't imagine, just because they get through the season with Cherington, I don't agree with this, but I can't imagine that means that Ben is safe in perpetuity. I think you have to relook at it after the season. But Shelton's just touched so many parts of this organization that I can't help but think the fallout's going to affect some other people.